Hello and welcome to the two-man power trip of wrestling. Host JP John Poz with me today. Very special returning guests, the Daddy Yang himself, former WCW and WWE superstar Jimmy Wang Yang, aka Akio. Welcome back. How you doing?
Yeehaw, man. Hey, JP, how you doing, man? You doing good? Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yes, doing good, man. Doing very good. Mine is
Yeah.
Fly Eagle Fly. I hate the Eagles,
Come
but
on, man. Barkley, man, you got to cheer for your old guy, but come on.
oh hell no. Oh, that was brutal. I feel like Joe Shane, the GM, should have been fired just because of that, right? I mean, Jesus.
I
Worst
think every
possible
yeah,
scenario.
I think everybody in the office should have been fired from the Giants, but oh well.
Brutal.
Yeah. I don't know how you're still a fan, but like that was one of your guys. You can't cheer for Barkley. Like, I don't
No.
understand. Like, I know the Eagles and Giants thing is rivalry, but that was one of your dudes. So like,
I don't know. I can't do it. I can't root for him.
you
Can't
can't
do
feel,
it. Sorry.
can't be happy for him. Nothing.
No. Nope. Not
Man,
happy for
you're
him either. No.
you're such a heel, dude. You're such a, oh my goodness.
I'm a
Well,
bitter heel. Right? I'm a bitter heel. Yeah. Big
yeah,
time.
yeah.
So what's going on in your world? What are you up to? I know you got the new training school, the new dojo coming out.
Yeah, me. I'm like always busy. Like there's so much going on. But I just built the dojo in the backyard. I'm Daddy Yang to Jazzy Yang, so indies and all that kind of stuff, and training people, coaching her. We're coming up to WrestleCon. We'll be out WrestleCon in Vegas for WrestleMania. There's a lot of other stuff going on with Jazz, with the big company. So there's like just a lot of going on. But like the biggest thing is like something that I told myself I wouldn't do again is start a wrestling school. So like wrestling school business is kind of a hard business, and I told myself I used to have a school in Cincinnati, Ohio called Pro Training, or a lot of people know PT Wrestling. Did that for a few years. Lost a lot of money on it, So it's like, no, I'm not going to do this. I don't want to be involved with that kind of business. Uh, why is because it takes a special human being to become a professional wrestler. Like it's kind of hard to find those individuals. But there's a lot of people that really want to become professional wrestlers, uh, and it's a lot of people's dream. And once they sign up and take the first few bumps, and they find out like it's not a trampoline, and say, "Oh, I thought all this was fake." It's like this stuff really hurts. Like I know what people perspective of pro wrestling is a trampoline. You barely hit each other, like, but like yes, it's predetermined, but we beat the shit out of each other. So like, so it's kind of was a hard business to find those individuals that keep on coming back and training. And maybe it's on, like I know what I had to do to get into professional wrestling and what the training I did at the power plant. Uh, it was my schools was very small percentage of what I did at the power plant, and people couldn't last a week, So like, but uh, so I had a school in Cincinnati. I kind of told myself I was never going to do wrestling school ever again because like I just lost way too much money because I had this big building. I had this old WCW ring, but also it was like a big overhead for business. Having the nice building, having the ring, having the guardrails, having everything like trying to do top notch kind of training center. Um, but I lost a lot of money doing it, So like I was like, I don't know if I could, you know, want to do, but the the wrestling training is kind of like the transition after wrestling, right? For most wrestlers, like to say, okay, what are you gonna do after your career? So okay, let me pass it on and start a school and you know, you know, do the wrestling school, teach people that want to become professional wrestlers, teach them wrestling. But like it's just not it's a hard business and trying to do things like top notch. The overhead the return on investment wasn't the best. Not like the redneck party bus. Redneck party bus was a great business and low overhead and big profits. So like so that's doing it back then. Told myself I wasn't going to do it, but then I was on Facebook Marketplace, and I found out this guy was selling his ring. So
Wow.
I was like, I'm not really interested in doing a school, but let me, but I'm kind of interested, but like, let me see what this ring is all about, So like, I messaged a guy, and they say, hey, yeah, I have this ring, here's where it's located at, and it's literally like a mile down the street from my house. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go check it out, So like, went down and check it out, and like when I pulled in the driveway, like these are two local independent wrestlers, So they walk out, and their eyes get real big, like, oh my god, I'm like, oh, Jimmy Wang Yang. I said, yep, howdy, I'm your boy, So let me see this ring, and they showed me the ring, and I wasn't kind of interested, and the guy's like, oh, I'm trying to get $2,000 for it. Then I asked him, I said, how much will you sell it to Jimmy Wang Yang for? So I said, oh, I'll sell it to you for 1,000 if you take a selfie with me. I was like, okay, cheese, like, so, and like kind of a cheap ring, and then I, have some land, and I didn't, and what I, what I learned about the previous wrestling school is I had way too much overhead and not enough students or return on investment kind of thing. So it's like really nice building, $3,000 a month for this building, but one student's 3,000. So I'm like, I can't put it in a building, like I don't want to make the same mistakes that I did before. So I looked into like, hey, what if I just build a steel garage in my backyard and just put it in my backyard? So it's like, oh, and maybe you might get some wrong intention. Some, wrestling fans or people will find out, where I live at, and they'll like driving by, like how I used to stalk DDP. I don't know if y'all remember that story, but like how I used to drive by his house every day and, see him outside and go bother him, all that kind of stuff. So like, that's a little concern. And then I have a beautiful daughter too. So I'm like, I don't know, but if I, want to make a kind of successful business, I just build the building in the back. It's probably around $10,000 to get the building taken care of, have the ring, and that's what I did. And now I'm opening up the wrestling school. So I don't know if I went up so long with that answer. So that's kind of all over the place.
No,
I'm sorry.
That's good, but I love it though. So it's literally on your property. It's literally like a part of the Yang household. It is the ring and everything. That's pretty cool though. Easy
But
for you. Easy commute.
Easy commute, and this like true form of backyard wrestling. I don't know, because I started backyard wrestling and we had a trampoline and falling off the trampoline and all that kind of stuff. So like, but this is literally my backyard wrestling. So it's no overhead backyard. Oh, it's a little bit overhead because I already paid everything off. So like it's but it's really convenient for me, and Jazzy's wrestling. So doing training with Jazzy is why not get some more students here? Teriyaki, A-Town Supreme, Nathan Mowry, all these guys are kind of getting their rise up in the Southeast and more, but Jazzy, worldwide, and Terry's worldwide, and it's like helping them get to the next level, I guess,
So are you getting or going to be getting more students, right? Like how many can you hold? How many can you handle?
So even in the past, so like training, like when like seminars and like old wrestling at the old pro training, so like what was bad or with training, I would get too many students, even seminars, 20, 30 people trying to do a seminar. So I can't, you can't teach like that. It's just hard, like you need to, I feel like you need to be more hands-on and individual each person, and try to spend time with each person instead of trying to, you can't spend that much time with 30 kids, or not kids, but students, like it's seminars, and trying to like, okay, this, and then repeat, and try to give them that time that they pay for. So what I did is just limited classes down to 10 person. I have 4 semesters, only 10 students per semester, where I have more time to like teach, and they don't get lost in the teachings, because like these people are going and they're not paying attention, and it's like trying to get people always paying attention, always ring time, and not too crowded, where I can really be hands on with their training.
When you're doing the training, you know the WCW power plant obviously very well, where you train. You don't teach like that, do you? You don't train like that, do you? Like the Sarge would.
Definitely. Like it just depends on the student. Like it's different because it goes on individuals basis. So like kind of like some people want to be pushed where they can go to Japan, right? Like then, like if I didn't have the power plant training, there's probably no way I would have survived in Japan, because in the dojo over there. But like it just depends on the personality or the person. I will push somebody if they want that, but like in the past, like I don't want to scare people off. Like that's what the power plant was basically made for. Say, oh, you want to be pro wrestler, so let's try to kill you and scare you off, where we'll take your money and you will never come back. So I don't want that. Like I don't want that to be that extreme. But like if a student wants that, I have no problem with pushing them. But like I find that's even the training at power plant. It's like it's probably illegal now. So I can't go that
Yes.
far. So like
Yes.
but even a WWE tryout, like I know it's similar to the power plant training, but like I don't think they go extreme, but like they want to push you and test people's heart if they really want to do professional wrestling. So I need to do that as a coach. Like I said, I don't, if I'm going to train you, I don't want you to go down to this tryout and blow up or give up or quit or whatever. I want you to be 100% prepared before any kind of tryout, not just the WWE tryout, the Noah tryout or the All Japan tryout, or I'm trying to think who else does tryouts now, but but they will test you in Japan. They'll test you at the WWE. They'll test you other places to see if you have that heart and if you can handle the training. So
It feels like Sarge, though, that training was pretty damn intense. And I've heard from you and a lot of other guys, like, man, I don't know how some people survived. And obviously, some people really didn't. They just quit
yeah,
in droves.
and that's the thing. I like looking back at it now, like even like even my training, like there's not a few hundred squats, 200 squats or something, like for my training. Like I said, I tell the guys like this, 200 is nothing. Like we warmed up on 500. So like it's like trying to get them ready. But like if that's what they want, to try to get a trial. I said, my trial's a little bit different. I don't think it's extreme, but like doing 200 squats, 200 push-ups, like all these bumps and these blow-up drills. I said, this is how I came in, or this is how I survived down at the power plant. I don't think it's at that level, but it could be. So like I want to make sure you're prepared for it. So
How many guys actually, when you trained at the power plant, survived and actually like moved on? Not many, right?
my group we were like my group kind of survived, right? Like, but so the first day I went to power plant, like it was me, my partner Ryan Forrester, Shane Helms, and Shannon Moore, right? And then we were supposed to meet Paul Orndorff, and then we go into they didn't let us in for a little bit, and then when they finally let us in, they thought all 4 of us were there for a tryout. These cruiserweights is, I was 150 pounds, and Shane and Shannon and Ryan we're all a similar size. So when we get in there, like we're Sarge right away. It's like we told him, it's like, well, we're here to see Paul Orndorff. He said, no, you're not. Go stand in the corner right now, and when we call for you, you come, right? So we go stand in the corner, So and it's the first time meeting Shannon, like so we're like I'm trying to be cordial and make jokes and funny, haha, like, hey, first time meeting you guys. And then they saw us laughing over there. So Sarge saw us laughing, and he's like, "What the fuck are you laughing at, motherfuckers? Get your asses over here!" So I said, "Oh, and oh, you guys want to be WCW wrestlers? Sorry, this is what we're gonna do. Here's their tryout." I said, "No," inside was like, "No, we already have a contract, so like we're not supposed to do the tryout." But they didn't know that, and Paul didn't show up to work that day before we could go meet him and let them know what was going on. So
right.
that day they beat the shit out of us, and Del Torborn was there, and he was like a real dick, like the bully in the power plant, right? The big man in power plant, all this kind of stuff. And they just tried to kill us, tried to run us off, basically, and so then we had lunch break, and then me and my partner went to his car to try to eat some lunch. I was like, man, my legs are all gone. My body, everything's all exhausted out, so like everything, my whole body is exhausted out, and him too. But we was eating lunch, and it's like, and then I remember me and him looking at each other, it's like, they can't run us off. we can go more, but it was like so hard, so, but then we would go back, and the second half of the training started, and we got through the day. I was there got through the day, and then so then Shane and Shannon really couldn't. They didn't want it. They's like, nah, we ain't doing no more. This is ridiculous. We've already been wrestling for whatever amount of time. We already hired, and we're out of here. So, but yeah. It wasn't that same day. The next day when Paul showed up, and then they told him, say, "Oh, these guys are already hired, so y'all didn't have to kill them yesterday." But after that practice, I remember Shannon got his first concussion that second day because they're just beating the shit out of us and beating shit out Shannon and Shane, and he got concussed, and then after the concuss and lunch and all the stuff, because I remember at lunch he didn't know where he was at. He thought he was in North Carolina, and he's in Atlanta, Georgia. So said something's really bad. Just not knowing. Got hit in the head, and these guys, like the power plant guys, wasn't the best wrestlers. They just like great athletes and just beat the shit out of each other. So then Shane and Shannon went to Paul Orndorff's office and said, "Well, this is too much for us. We can't do it." And then they took off back to North Carolina. Me and Ryan stayed, and then we just did that training for the next few months. But during that 4 months, like so many guys came in and tried out. I remember, the NBA basketball players. I remember Tank Abbott came down, Don Fry came down, Terry Crews, and the other jacked up white model that's around, like he's
Michael Hearn.
Michael Hearn. All the Battle Dome guys came down there, and they couldn't handle it either. So then they, they're like, "Oh man, this is crazy," and I'm trying to think who else it was. But then like Bob Sapp and Sam Greco, all these guys come in, all these, but they did pass, they stayed, and got contracts. But like there was so many guys that, we do that morning workout and go to lunch, and people would never come back, So it's like kind of crazy. So
Batista too, right? Wasn't he a part of that where he came in and left? He quit.
Yeah, I wasn't there when Batista came. I know the story, but like that's just how popular wrestling was back in the. Everybody wanted to be a professional wrestler, like and then if he was big and had size, and everybody thinks, oh, I can do fake fighting, it's easy. Yeah. And then they say, oh, you guys think it's easy, so okay, this is what you have to do to just get in, So, but it's like weeding out the weak kind of thing. But like, I don't think it was the best business plan, because you ran off Terry Crews, you ran off Dave Batista. Like, if you had those two guys in WCW, how great would Terry Crews would have been in WCW? Yes. Oh my God! Yes. Like, and Dave, and even Michael Hearn. Like, you had these guys in your building, these basically Greek gods looking guys, and then with Terry's charisma and his acting, like, how far could that guy could have went? So but that's how it was. So.
Yeah, it is crazy if you think about it. It's like, okay, only the tough survive. Whoever really wants it, wants it. But then Terry Crews is, he's one of the biggest stars. Batista became one of the biggest stars in WWE. It's still a big star now. It's like, man, sometimes you can't run off the guys. You got to be a little bit, more couth, if you will, a little bit smarter with them.
Yeah, for sure. So.
Yeah, not good. And did Sarge and those guys, did they ever get heat because you guys had contracts and they put you through that? Did they ever get any heat for that?
Not for us. Like, a lot of guys back in the office days would pat him on the back and say, "Oh, you beat," you know, even in, even every locker, not every locker room, but like that's the thing. My generation, like my generation to the new generation, like, people. It's really bad now. Like, you think about it, like, but they would, they would get pat on the backs for beating the shit out of somebody. Like, oh yeah, you beat the fuck out of the guy. Like, yeah, good job. Like that was great. That'll teach them some respect. Or whatever they want. The whatever mindset they had. But they, even about Paul Orndorff, he was a man. So he wanted all of us to be some bad ass motherfuckers. So like.
Yep.
He wanted us to be those Navy SEALs of wrestling, so like he loved that training, but he comes from, professional football to, like to the 80s wrestling and all that kind of stuff, like how hard it was for him. He, like if you're going to be in his business, he wanted all of us to be, some, that's like I say, Navy SEALs of professional wrestling, so like gave us that training like that, so.
Did he mention the day after, like, hey, what the hell happened yesterday? Did he ever like mention anything to you guys?
No. That was that was like just a normal day. It's like, if you want to be here, this is what we do. It wasn't at first the initial tryout. They pushed us to the limit, but the next day was the same, and the next day after that was the same. So it's like, I tell my students, I used to eat 500 squats for breakfast. Like if you think this is hard, like this 100 squats or 200 squats or 200 push-ups or whatever, whatever we do, like, you think this is hard? And like, y'all have no idea how bad it was back then, or how hard it was at the power plant. And even that, for me going to, power plant and then the WCW thing and then WWE, then going to All Japan, and I had to go to the dojo and first tour was 2 months, so I stayed in the dojo, and it was going right back to that power plant training. So like, it's like I was okay with it because I've already done it, So they didn't really kind of scare me when they say, "Oh, today we got 4 hours of dojo training." It's like 4. Power plant was Monday through Friday, like 9 to 5, so 40 hours a week, kind of like a real job. So it's like, I'm used to training 8 hours a day, so 4 hours. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah. So yeah.
When you think back, like at like Sarge and stuff, do you think he was just trying to toughen everybody up, or was he legit old school guy trying to get guys to quit? You know what I mean? Like how they used to do that back in the day in like Florida Championship Wrestling. They put the guy with Bob Roop and like, all right, get this guy to quit, and then the guy would quit. Like, you think he was just trying to get everybody to quit?
I really, now think about it, he's just trying to keep a job. So like, he took his orders from, Paul, and Paul took his orders from Bischoff, so say, and that's what, just goes down the line of the chain. It's like, okay, Sarge, because outside of the power plant, Sarge is actually a really cool guy. It's like, what the fuck, what's going on? It's like, like, and now I know it's like, oh, I just have to go in there and do my job. My job is to, make it rough on you guys. And it can't be easy for you guys, so it's like in your face, spitting in your face and all this kind of stuff. But really, he's like being a real tough coach, and like, and I needed that, like really, I needed that kind of training for my future career. Like if I didn't have that training, my foundation of my mindset and how this business or the business is supposed to be in their mindset and Paul Orndorff's mindset, like, I don't think if I didn't have that tough coaching, like, there's no way I would have went to Japan and be able to survive over there, and then the WWE and all the other nonsense, but like, to me, like, and people say, I started a little bit before the power plant on indies and all that kind of stuff, or small indies right before, or a few months before I got signed. So like, I don't credit that for my foundation of professional wrestling. I credit my foundation of professional wrestling is at the power plant, and Sarge pushing me, and Paul Orndorff pushing me, and Paul Orndorff's giving me his philosophy on professional wrestling, and it couldn't have been a better coach to listen to. Like Mr. Wonderful's teaching me wrestling,
Yep.
and I'm trying. I know this is a wrestling podcast, so like if wrestling, you learn the foundation. Like and this foundation's like building a house. If you don't have a strong foundation, your house falls down. So my Paul Orndorff and Sarge helped me build my solid foundation, and I credit them for my 20 plus years in the professional wrestling. Like if they didn't push me, I would have probably left a long time ago. But the main thing that they taught at the power plant is not wrestling moves and all that kind of stuff. Like it's in psychology and all the stuff into a wrestling match. What Paul and Sarge taught me the most is never give up, never stop, no matter what, push through. So that was kind of the biggest lesson at the power plant. Like I didn't really learn much about putting matches together and angles and stories and promos and all this kind of stuff. They taught me to never quit. Like no matter how hard it gets, never quit. So that's that's why I credit with Paul Orndorff and Sarge and the power plant. So
Credit where credit's due, for sure. Who signed you? Is it Bischoff? Is he the one that finds you and signs you?
Well, he signed the contract, but the ones that he sent Chris Kanyon out to find 20 so cruiserweights to do the first reality show, and they wanted to do Tough Enough in '99 before it came on MTV with all that kind of stuff. So that was Bischoff's idea. So he sent Kanyon out to find 20 cruiserweights for this first reality show of wrestling. So Canyon's the one that came and scouted us at a place called Good Old Days Wrestling, but now it's the WWA 4 in Atlanta. So that first match came. I was just such a big fan at the time, obsessed with wrestling. So all of a sudden the guy calls us, or the local promoter calls us, "Hey, we need you here Saturday. We're going to do a match in front of Chris Kanyon." I'm like, what? Mortis, awesome. Sweet, that's awesome. I'm just such a big fan. Like the year before I got into wrestling, I was dressed up as Sting going to trick-or-treating to find DDP's house. So it's like, and then the next year the next few months, I'm in the ring wrestling. And then all of a sudden they say, "Oh, Chris Canyon's going to come see you guys in a match." So it was 4 of us. So it's like me, my partner Ryan Forrester, AJ Styles, and Jason Cross in this tag team match. And all of a sudden we're like warming up and all this kind of stuff. But this place was at a bar. So it's like Saturday afternoon. Chris Kanyon shows up. Raven shows up. Ron Reed shows up. Disco Inferno shows up. I'm like, oh my God, this is so awesome, But like, I want to go and get their autographs and all that kind of stuff and take pictures and stuff. And then they're like, "Oh, you guys, do y'all's match." And like, so you think of that match, you think of me, Ryan, and then Jason Cross and AJ Styles. Like there was no psychology whatsoever, but we flipped our asses off. So like you could just imagine that tag team match with we're just doing a whole bunch of spots and didn't make no sense at all. But like it was like Jason could do like a double moonsault. AJ does the what's that thing he does, the spiral tap kind of thing. And
oh yeah. Yep.
I'm doing Yang time. We're doing, it was like 5-minute match, but we're getting all our shit in 5 minutes. But it's like first spot, hey, I'll set you down and go up. I'm gonna miss a 450 for the guy to come in and hit his double leg moonsault kind of thing. But it's cool. It's crazy. But then, so that's how our tryout match. And afterwards, we was hanging out with all the WCW wrestlers. I was like, oh man, this is so cool. And then they had a bar. Yeah. And then they had a bar across the street called American Pie. So they said, "Oh yeah, come over here. We'll watch, hang out a little bit more." I'm like, "Oh, cool," But like even when I was only 17 at the time, so the bars, 21 or whatever. But these are guys, WCW guys, so like nobody's gonna stop them,
right.
So
yep.
So Kanyon and Raven was there and got us in, drink. start drinking and stuff. I'm like 17. I'm like, oh my God, this is like the coolest day ever, like, and then talking to Chris, like he said, hey, yeah, me and Ryan, we're boys with DDP, it's like, you guys are? I was like, yeah, we went trick or treating, and he let us in his house and all this kind of stuff, and then we used to drive by his house every single day, after school, and then it was during Christmas time, and then he was outside putting his Christmas lights up, so it's like, hey DDP, you need help, and he's like, yeah, get down here, monkeys, and put up the lights for Chris, DDP and stuff, and but it was so cool to me, but it was really free labor with with young kids. Yes. And then I just remember the big moment is afterwards we got all done. It was like sweating and all this kind of stuff, or like hard labor kind of thing, because he had a big ass house, so we'd send us up on the roof and stuff.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. And then afterwards, I remember he bought us a Papa John's pizza, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Say, oh, whatever. And then so there's a story. I know you know that story with DDP, but you can watch those previous episodes so we get the real story. Yes. And then when we was at the bar with Chris Canyon, we said, yeah, we're his diamond cutting clique, baby. We call ourselves that at school, because we met DDP and we hung out with him, all this stuff. So we had a little group and like, yeah, we're the diamond cutting clique, baby. And so Chris called Paige, and say, hey, these little kids, they said they put up your Christmas lights, and he said, oh yeah, I know Jimmy and Ryan and Andrew, yeah, those are my boys, like or not my boys, those are my little slaves that come around the house and
right,
that kind of stuff. So I think that kind of helped us with getting good with Chris, and then when the time came, they offered us all contracts. Myself, Ryan, Jason Cross, AJ Styles. So, like, once that paper came, I didn't know anything about it. So, it's like $400 a week to be. They paid us $400 a week to train to be a WCW wrestler. I'm like, oh hell yeah! I don't know what it said. Like, I didn't read it. And,
right? Screw it. Yep.
Whatever. I'm going, I'm about to graduate. I'm still in high school at the time. So like, it's like kind of, cause I got that contract the week before I graduated in 1999. So I just signed and gone. Ryan signed his, but his dad's like, you doing phony wrestling? Like what are you doing? You shouldn't do that. But his dad's big businessman, had an apprenticeship for him, all this kind of stuff. But he said, fuck you, Dad. I'm going to try to be a wrestler. He signed his contract. AJ Styles or Jason Cross came to the WCW office with his dad for this, contract that was $400 a week to be a WCW trainee or a wrestler. And then his dad sat down in the office and said, you need to give my son health insurance. So,
oh, jeez.
If you want my son, you got to put it in the contract that he has health care, And I remember the story coming out, whoever the person that dealt with the contracts, she's like, or he was like, we don't give Hulk Hogan his own health insurance. This is an independent contractor, but it's not as wrestling contracts, whatever, independent contractor. But Hulk Hogan doesn't have health care here, so we're not going to give your son health care here. So he's gone. And AJ Styles like, I would love to sign this, but right now I get paid twice as much as this for delivering water bottles. The big ones,
yep.
And he had college loans he had to pay back. So he's like, no, I just can't do this because I'm getting paid more doing this job than this job. So but then me and Ryan signed, and then we went to the power plant. And that's the first time that Shane Helms and Shannon Moore, and then again in there got our ass beat, and then because Paul wasn't there and Del Toro was beating our ass, but I started to jump around the story, but hopefully you guys are following the story. So
yes.
You asked me about how many guys went on to the next level, but my class was basically the natural born thrillers, Kiwi, Alan Funk, Elliot Skipper, Kid Romeo, Mike Sanders, Reno, Sean O'Hare, Mark Jindrak, Chuck Palumbo, Shark Boy, Molly Holly was there. So there's a lot of guys in my class that went to TV and WCW, and then some of them had careers in WWE. Hopefully, I'm not missing anybody. But we had a pretty Johnny the Bull was there. Yeah, sorry, Johnny Stamboli, was there. The Wall, Jerry Toot, New Jersey guy.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, he was there.
My buddy used to lift weights with him, actually.
Really? He was such awesome. He was such awesome dude, and he's like the first guy to really like embrace us as the young guys, young green guys. But Jerry Toot was just such a cool guy. And then the AWOL thing, and then I used to wrestle with him, in All Japan, and then I went back to WWE, and that's when he passed away over there. Like a month after I signed, I was like, or went back, so. But a lot of guys. Go ahead.
I was just say, whatever happened to that AJ Styles guy? Remember him? Whatever happened to him?
I beat his ass in the first TNA match ever. So maybe people he's never beat the Wang, or Yang. Even the last WCW Thunder, Young Dragon versus AJ, or did they call
Air
him
Raid?
Air Raid, but AJ Styles and Frank Paris, So.
Yeah, Air Paris, yep.
So, and then the first match at TNA, beat his ass there, beat his ass WCW, but we never had a WWE match. So yeah.
Still going. He's going to be, he's going to be wrestling some pretty big shows coming up for sure. Crazy, still going.
Yeah, that's awesome that he is. I'm so impressive that he's been wrestling that long. And I remember 10, 15 years ago, he was talking and he's like, man, dude, I can't even crawl on my floor with my baby, because my knees are so bad. I'm like, because the wrestling style that we were doing, that's rough on everybody. But it's and it's like wrestlers checking on wrestlers, like, hey, you good, healthy wise? Because I said, bro, I'm just wrestling with so much, and I can't even crawl on the floor because my knees are so bad. But that was probably 20 years ago. That's not 15 years ago. That's more, being in that kind of shape back then and continuing. And now he's, now I know he has a little bit easier schedule right now, but he definitely paid his dues. So
crazy. What's awesome? Obviously he's in WWE right now, but I was watching my favorite YouTube channel, the WWE Vault, and you pop up. I was like, this is great. I love how they do that. How it's not just like WWE guys from today. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's annoying because we see them all the time. So it's like, let's see somebody from the past. And I thought that was awesome. How did that all come about? Because they contact you and you're, introducing the story, and it's basically Akio versus Paul London and all these awesome Akio versus Paul London matches.
And yeah, that's great because personally, every day people remind me of Jimmy Wang Yang, right?
Of course,
yeah, Asian cowboy, yeehaw, kind of dance around and all that kind of stuff. I said, no, that was, I don't know how many years that was, but that was, I've had a 25-year career, and I'm not just the gay Asian cowboy, So I was like, you said all this other history, but people don't remember that kind of stuff. So it's awesome that they people remember those matches, so how that came about is actually, they didn't contact me for that, So Jazzy got contacted and they wanted Jazzy down in Atlanta at Raw, So she was going down there for extra work and to meet Regal and Triple H and talk about business kind of stuff. And then I'm like, hey, I text them. I'm like, hey, is it okay if I stop by? I haven't been backstage in a long time. So the management there now, I love who's in charge and who's taking care of, before, it wasn't the greatest, right? Once they get rid of you, it's we don't want to see you. We're, it's just bad. It wasn't comfortable to send a text and say, hey, it's okay if I stop by. But they contacted Jazzy to extra work and meet with Regal and Paul and all that kind of stuff, talk some business kind of stuff. And I text the management and say, oh yeah, come by. It'd be awesome. Show up at 5 o'clock. It's awesome. Come back. We'd love to see you. I'm like, really? It was kind of shocking to me. Really? Awesome. Yeah, awesome. So, but it's just weird for old town or before, It's not like that anymore. But so like before, it felt, like you were committing a crime, asking to go backstage and just rekindle with people and say hello and all this stuff. But like, I don't know. But anyways, so they have Jazzy down there. I asked if I can stop by and say, hey, I just come see people, and also I'm just a concerned dad, so like it's their first time, being backstage, and like I just, I know the environment I grew up or I came through is a lot different than it used to be. So I showed up and show up, go see everybody, hello, hey, good rekindling. So many people, not wrestlers, but also seamstresses, catering ladies, awesome Jen and Terry, and then John Cone, and like the referees and the guys that's been there long. Shane Helms is like probably my best friend in professional wrestling. I didn't get to see Jamie Noble. Jamie was had a day off, so, and then Jason Jordan, the producers, all the old guys, rekindling. Ernest Miller was there, so I was like, oh, hey, good to see everybody.
Wow.
So and then, just make my rounds and say hello to everybody. And then they came up to me and said, hey, Jimmy, we got this new show, The Vault. I said, yeah, I've been watching that. That's pretty cool. That's awesome stuff. I love it. I love it more. I like the old school stuff and seeing all the, even the Puerto Rico matches to the old ECW matches, all this kind of stuff. Like, oh, yeah, I know exactly what you guys are about. I said, oh, well, we got the thing, if you don't mind, we got the thing set up to say if you can talk about velocity. I was like, oh, yeah, the velocity, that's a Keo's show, like I didn't win anything, but like I was on there like almost every episode, because whatever situation. But like, yeah, of course, like, and then say, oh, we want to talk about the Paul London matches, like, and that is brought up to me often about, oh, those matches back then were so great, and I'm like, I love that people think like that, but I'm thinking like this generation, but like my generation of best of seven is like Benoit and Booker T, right? That was awesome, right? Like,
yes.
But I'm wondering if this generation thinking Akio Paul London is. I don't think they. I don't know. It's like they. I know the IWC puts them over so much, but like it's not. It's not at that level, right? Not like Booker T and Benoit best of seven. Like I don't know. What do you think?
I know. I love those. So. I love those matches. So you and Paul London. The only thing was they were on Velocity. If they should have been on like SmackDown or Raw or whatever. You know what I mean? Like a lot of them. So it would have been like because obviously Benoit and Booker T was always on Nitro or Thunder or the pay-per-view. So it's like a little bit different. But I feel like if people saw them, they would say these matches are awesome. Like work rate wise, like off the charts. And some of the stuff you guys are pulling off is like innovative as hell.
That's the thing. Maybe if it had like an angle behind it, because Booker and Benoit was for the U.S. title. This was just, velocity matches to fill time. Maybe I don't know, but like, but this, that, and so I love that people, remember Akio, like a casual wrestling fan. Nobody has an idea who Akio is, So it's like it's just Jimmy White, Yang, I'm your boy, yeehaw, So I'm like. I used to be a badass dude. I tell you, I had a Ring of Honor run, All Japan run. The TNA thing was goofy too. So flying Elvis, that was not the coolest thing, but
So when you were doing it and filming it and stuff, what was like? Was it easy? Was it fun? Was it cool? Or were you thinking like I don't know about this? You know what I mean? Like what were you thinking when you were doing it?
So when I showed up, I just got pulled in so many directions. It felt like because a lot of people didn't see me, and like the new generation kind of things, like wrestlers now kind of grew up on me, Jimmy Wang Yang, so they're like, oh hey, we love, everybody's pulling, and then the guys say, hey, we want you to do this. It's okay, cool, I'll be there. Just grab me when you're ready. People grabbed me. Abdullah Butcher was there. Regal was there. Dave Taylor was there. It's just like getting, TV's kind of chaos, and then the live show. But I feel like I was just bouncing around everywhere. Then all of a sudden, I say, "Okay, we're ready." So it's like kind of like a fast improv. Like I didn't get really. I briefed the questions when they first came to me, but I didn't remember them. I'm like, okay. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'll be there. Just grab me when you're ready. So bullshitting. Everybody. And the whole time I really, I'm worried about my daughter, and then I'm trying to, just trying to get her hired. So it's like a lot of stuff
Yes.
going on, so it's like, and then finally they pull me down, sit me in chairs. Okay, we got, to do this. And I just felt like everything was just like, I don't really remember what I said about it, like I was just going so fast and okay, cool, we're done. Okay, cool. Let me go find my daughter, make sure she's okay. And then get stopped by other people and they're talking to me. I said, I don't even remember that episode. Like I didn't really get to see the whole Raw. I was just like, it was just so fast and everything was going so fast and so many people. And I made some great relationships with not just the wrestlers, just the production crew, the producers, to the lighting, to the catering, and just so I just make my rounds, just try to say hi to everybody and spend some time with them. So it's just everything was so bam, 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 bam. But then I did make it to the bar afterwards, and then some people are there and hanging out at the bar time, and then hanging out with a few of the guys and talent. And next thing I know, I'm in my bed at 11 a.m. on Tuesday morning. I was like, oh my God, what just happened? Like the last 30 hours, I've just been nonstop. So it's kind of, but that's how that life is, like I don't know how I did it for that amount of time in that company because it was just always so fast and everything. And like, well, I didn't get to my bed until 11 a.m. Tuesday. I was like,
Wow.
oh my God.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What a whirlwind there.
Yeah.
Pretty cool though. Like I love that you in London are getting that type of attention. What did you think about Paul? Like, are you still friendly with him, or what did you think about him then too?
Yeah, I mean, Paul was like unbelievable wrestler. Like I know Ring of Honor and all that kind of stuff. So like,
Oh yeah.
his stuff there was unbelievable. And then he says we met in WCW at something. He got beat up by Scott Steiner or something, somewhere, some crazy story with being an extra.
Yeah.
And then finally meeting him in WWE, and having those matches and all that kind of stuff. Like, and then, we like, it's weird in wrestling. Like when you wrestle somebody and you beat the shit out of each other, you become better friends. But that happens in UFC and too, like, and even all sports. Like, if this guy pushes you to the limit, like whatever issues that you had, like from where you're from or your beliefs and all that kind of stuff, if you go in that ring and push each other and beat the shit out of each other, somehow you can have a better relationship in the back. And that's what Paul and even Shane Helms was like that. When me and Shane Helms first met, we almost fought in the back because he was a dick. But anyways, like, and then we go out there and beat the shit out of each other, and then we became best friends. Same with Paul London. But like Paul was an amazing wrestler. We became great friends. He did have to deal with some issues in the back that kind of messed up his head. I think was whatever. So and then he got out, and then we always kind of stayed in contact. So like and I don't know. I still like the guy, so I don't know how he feels about. I know he likes me a lot, so but like sometimes that Cafe de Rene, they're trying to get clickbait, so they just want to talk shit about anybody and everybody. So like, kind of heard a few things. I was like, bro, I thought we was cool, like I said, I thought we were best friends, and like if you let me know you're trying to work this just to get clickbait and say, what about Jimmy? And want to talk shit about me for no reason. Like that's kind of, you're in the podcast game, so clickbait and try to get things good content. So like,
oh yeah,
okay, my best or whatever, one of my good friends in wrestling, he won't mind if I don't mind. You can do whatever you want if you're making money. I don't, if you let me know. But like, it's kind of heartbreaking when somebody sends you a clip of them, one of your whatever best friends in wrestling, and talking shit about you. I'm like, oh man, that sucks. I was like, that's not right. But
yeah, where's the respect there? Come on.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's in characters, like if he explains to me, like, well, we're just trying to get, whatever. So then I understand, but like it sucks when, somebody sends you something, or somebody that you thought you was close with, and then they kind of trying to bury you
Yeah, that's
for
not cool. Yeah.
for what? I wonder, for what? If you're making money off of it, cool. If not, if you just try to put yourself over and whatever, and that's where it's like, that's fucked up, dude. Like you slept at my house, I took care of you, like when he was here and there, and I went to his house and he took care of me, and we smoked a shitload of weed back in the day, so like, so yeah. But even those matches and stuff, like, I feel like my timing's not the best in the wrestling business, but like, so those matches, Akio, Paul London, and so great matches. Everybody's, or not everybody, but people are putting us over. Oh man, you guys are working so hard and all this kind of stuff. So that led him to like a cruiserweight title run, tag team title run,
Yep.
big pushes, all this kind of stuff. You know what happened to Akio?
Nothing.
Got fired.
Yeah, got cut. Yeah, got released. Yeah.
Got released, and and then came back as an Asian a Korean redneck. So like it's like those matches great, but like the truth of it, it's like we're trying to, at that time Akio was I just trying to be a company guy, just doing everything right, working hard, all this kind of stuff. And so in those matches, and even the rivalry things, like but wins and losses to me it doesn't matter, just good matches, So like,
Yep.
I think I beat him once in that rivalry, and then he went to cruiserweight title, the longest tag team titles, all that kind of stuff, and then I got fired for those, not for those matches, but budget reasons or whatever kind of thing. Creative has nothing for you. Adios, So then that story about me coming back and then turning, me trying to get laid turned me into an Asian redneck. So it's like, kind of messed up. Like if you look at the truth and what happened, it's like kind of like, like he, I never won a title, so like I never got that push. So it's like,
yes,
on,
but he did after that feud. Yeah, big. You're right, big time. Got a nice little push after that.
Not nice little push, but like you talk to all of us and you've seen everything. So you category him as like one of those bitter wrestlers, and then you category me as like, I don't care, whatever.
Right.
So like, but like I said, you have two categories of after WWE wrestlers. The ones that like just shit on the company and no, they didn't do this for me, blah 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 blah. Whatever. I said, motherfucker, you got this title, and titles, whatever. But it's important. But like, you got this. Yep. I got fired, like and but I'm not angry at. I had a great time in my wrestling career.
Bitter at all about it, yeah.
Got travel the world and get and get to be on video game, action figures, So, but I'm not, I don't know, like so many guys you have on here, just like, oh man, fuck them, fuck that, fuck like I didn't
little
get
bitter,
this.
yep.
So I'm like, bro, like we got to work for the greatest company or biggest wrestling company in the world, So like, I don't know. I'm not bitter about anything. Like I wish I could have done more. Like was it meant to be? So it's like, but I'm not, angry at it. Oh, I didn't get the title, So, but I know people always ask me, like, you never won a title. I say, I didn't really care, like as long as I got paid to be a professional wrestler, and good, and I got to, not work. Didn't have to hit my alarm clock at 5:50 every single morning to go do bullshit, or not bullshit work, but like real life stuff. That was that's that we got to didn't have to do that. That was so sorry about that. That's
lucky to be a wrestler. With London, I don't know like what's a work and what's real though, because it does seem like he's definitely working a lot. You know what I mean? Like you never quite know with him.
Yeah, that's the thing, but that means a good worker, So that's always the blurry lines to make,
Yes.
So it's like
yes.
But like if that's the case, it's no harm, no foul. But like it just sucks when when you kind of believe it, like because the person, like I don't know, like I know this trying to work and trying to make money, cool, whatever, but like I don't know, I'm not shitting on name, but I'm not, I'm not that kind of guy. But so, but
You
I don't
can
have,
though. You could,
but I don't have a podcast and trying to get people to view it. So like,
yes. So as we hit the wind end here, head towards the finish, how could people find the dojo and kind of find you like and basically be able to attend and do this school and work with you?
yeah, basically all the social medias is just Yang's Dojo, Facebook.com/Yang's Dojo. That's the main page. Got the Instagram, got the Twitter, everything's Yang's Dojo. So like if you're serious about being a professional wrestler, like I'm located like 20 miles west of Atlanta. So I offer training Monday through Thursday. Can work through like day classes. People are working at night, and that's for the most part. Wrestlers are waiters or servers in the service industry. So like you do it during the day, and then the people that work night classes do those night classes. So like, but with it's limited enrollment, just 10 students every 3 months. Like I want to be able to be hands-on with you and teach you everything I know. But once that semester ends, it doesn't end for you. Like you're a student for life once the tuition is paid off, but it's just, I really believe in the fundamentals of professional wrestling and your foundation. So that's basically what I'm teaching you. Like that's what I want to teach you, to have a strong foundation. I'm not going to teach you a moonsault. I'm not going to teach you a 450. I'm not teaching moves. I am teaching moves, but like it's not. I want you to understand the business. I want you to, what was taught to me, to pass it on. Is not just. It's not just a 450 or a moonsault. It's a lot of. There's so much that goes into making a match and having a career in professional wrestling. So that's what I'm teaching. So Yang's Dojo, baby.
I love it. And Jazzy, is she going to be anywhere we should expect, or is we can't say where she might pop up?
No, so like we can promote a few things, like so she'll be with me in Vegas for WrestleMania, for WrestleCon. We're going, the Hyper School of Wrestling out of San Antonio, Texas, is bringing us out. That's a great wrestling school. If you're in Texas, the Hyper School of Wrestling. Funaki's one of the trainers. Chris, trying to remember his gimmick name, but that's such a really nice school. They have 3 rings. Like their school's unbelievable. I'm surprised they don't have an ID program there. So like so they're bringing us out to Vegas, and all the information on Jazzy Yang is jazzyyang.com. She got like her appearances and her Instagram, her TikToks, or whatever. Like I'm too old to be doing all TikToks and all that stuff, but all the younger age TikToks. But jazzyang.com, you see everything about her, and then hopefully I can retire soon, if you understand what that means.
Yes. Yes.
So that's hopefully, she's been talking to some people. So like, we'll see what happens.
That would be nice. That would be nice. Cross your fingers and your toes. That would be nice.
Yeah. So get ready for the next generation of Yang. Jazzy Yang.
Hell yes. Yes. Yeah. And everybody should check out the WWE Vault, Akio, Paul London, the big feud there that you guys had. So definitely check that out. Jimmy, Daddy Yang, Jimmy Wang Yang, Akio, thank you so much for all the time. Really appreciate it.
We didn't talk about porn at all. So that's
my God.
Oh, next time we got to talk. Because now I'm like in the OnlyFans girls, so I know we're the same age, and golden era of porn, the Vivid girls, and
we got to talk about that next time, and we got to bring in Christy Canyon next time.
Yeah, and that's how me and Mick Foley bonded over Christy Canyon. But like Christy Canyon's one of my goats. Raquel Darian, and even Conrad Thompson loves Janine. I love Janine too. I know you love Christy.
Janine. Yeah.
So we're like. It's all the same age, and we grew up on the Vivid girls. But that's for next time, and then I'll tell you about how I wish. I wonder if Kendra Lust knows who I am. Like I would.
Oh yes,
she loves wrestling, but I'm like, do you know who Jimmy Wang Yang is? So that's like, I probably would throw my career away. Just kidding, you know, like, so if
Yes.
Kendra Lust is watching, you know, like contact Jimmy Wang Yang, you know, like,
Yes. She wants to be trained. She wants to be trained. I know that. Yes.
yeah, that's what she says, you know, so we'll see. But
Yes.
like, I can teach her something and she can teach me something. So,
Oh,
and then,
yes.
and
Love it.
onlyfans.com/Jimmy Wang Yang. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Yes.
Awesome. Jimmy, you will be back. I promise. You will be back.
Yeah. All right. I'll be back. And remember, I'm Jimmy Wang Yang, and I'm your boy.